Hello everybody, my name is Dustin, and yesterday I had LASIK eye surgery performed. 25 years of wearing glasses every single day, and now I don't need them anymore. I just wanted to give kind of a brief rundown of the procedure, what to expect in case you might be doing it someday in the future or you're thinking about doing it, um, side effects and follow-up. And yes, this video is about 30 hours post-procedure. So here goes. So my procedure day, I went in for the procedure, had already been pre-qualified. Everything was good. They told me I was a great candidate for LASIK. When I went in, I signed in, signed all of the waivers and paperwork, just saying that if they for some reason fucked up my eyes, that they weren't liable for it, which I wasn't afraid of. The facility that I went to had very skilled surgeons with a very good reputation. Prior to the procedure, they gave me 10 milligrams of oral Valium to help sedate me, relax me. After that, they told me to take a seat in the waiting room, told me that it would take probably about 20 to 30 minutes for the Valium to start kicking in. So I waited, I went to the bathroom real quick, came back. All of that was probably about 10 to 12 minutes. And then at that time, they took me back to the operating room. And out of everything, I think this is my only complaint about the actual procedure, was when they were taking me back. I first said, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't think the Valium's kicked in yet. They kept taking me back to the operating room. And then when they told me to sit on the table, I once again said, I don't think this Valium's kicked in yet. They said, it's okay. We'll guide you through everything. Which, that was a little anxiety inducing for me with the Valium not having taken effect yet. And me having very sensitive eyes, I've actually never been able to get a contact lens in my eye. A bit about my background is when I was a child, I had one of my eyeballs cut open by a plastic tag. Had to go to the emergency room. They had put antibiotic drops in there. They sealed my eye shut for 2 weeks so the eye could heal. Ever since then, anything that gets close to my eye, I freak out. I'm unable to do anything with it. Even eye drops are a big issue for me. So, keeping that in mind, I actually went through with this LASIK procedure, and now I'll walk you through step by step the actual procedure of what happens. So, first, when they lay you on the table, they put numbing drops in your eyes, so you won't feel anything. They don't really sting or anything. They told me they were going to sting. I didn't feel much. Just felt like any type of drop going inside my eye, which was a bit uncomfortable. They let those kick in for a minute. And then they put you under this machine that has a ring of lights that they tell you to focus on. While you're focusing on that, they take basically like a little suction cup. I couldn't really see it too well, but I imagine that it looks like one of those eyeball washers that you get and put over your eye, but it was a little bit softer plastic. So they pry your eyeball open, stick that suction cup inside there, which it doesn't hurt at all. You feel a bit of pressure and it's a bit uncomfortable. And then after that, they tell you to focus on that ring of light. That machine comes down. You feel some more pressure, which I'm assuming that's kind of pulling your eyeball open. And the first laser starts. So what the first laser does is it cuts a flap in your cornea that they'll later lift up for the second laser to actually reshape your eye. That was probably the most uncomfortable part of the procedure in general. Mostly because once that laser starts cutting, you're focusing on this ring of lights. You feel pressure on your eye. And as you're focusing, as the laser starts cutting and that flap starts being created, everything goes from bright white to gray and then to black, and you can't see anything, which is a little scary, a little uncomfortable. Not the worst thing in the world for me, actually. Once everything went black, I was a little bit calmer, I think, just because I didn't see anything going on. And it was kind of like I had the mindset of, oh, my eyes are just closed now. Afterwards, they tape down your eyelid so that you can't open your eye, move on to the next eye, do the same thing. So after that's done, they take you under another machine, and then they get a speculum to pry your eyelid open. That wasn't really incredibly uncomfortable. The surgeon that I had did that very quickly, painlessly. And actually, before the procedure, I had met with him. He asked if I had any questions, and I jokingly asked if he had ever done the procedure on anyone who had never been able to wear contacts before. And he laughed and said, "Oh, yes, many." And I said, "Okay, well, you might have to fight me." He said, "Okay, we'll fight and we'll see who wins." He definitely won easily, hands down. Didn't really feel anything. So he got that speculum under my eyelid. After that, there's another laser that they have you focus on. This next laser is what actually starts reshaping your eye. And with this one, the only weird thing with this, once again, you don't feel anything the whole procedure. But this one is ablating away the tissue. So essentially it's like burning the tissue away. And as it's going, it smells. It smells like, I don't know, burning hair or burning wires, which when I smelled it and heard the laser going, that was a little bit freaky. So for the second eye, when they did that, I just held my breath and then just breathed out so I didn't have to smell that again. Afterwards, they rinse your eyes off with cold water, replace the flap, and then you're pretty much done. Altogether, the entire procedure, I think I was in the operating room for maybe 5 minutes. The first laser probably took 20 seconds per eye to cut the flap. The second laser, anywhere between 10, 15 seconds per eye, somewhere around there. When they were cutting the flap on the second eye, so they did my left eye second, the suction cup actually came off, I think, because I had probably moved my head. I was very anxious in there. And the only thing I have is, you can see I have some bruising on my eyeball right now, which should go away. They told me it should heal up within a week or so. It's nothing permanent. It doesn't hurt. Other than that, everything was painless, very quick. It's just kind of a scary, nerve-wracking procedure if you've never done anything like that before. I went back in for my eye exam today. Actually, let's talk about post-procedure first. So after the procedure, they put in your first round of antibiotic and steroid drops in your eye to make sure that you don't get an infection. Helps the eye heal up quicker as well. After that, they tell you to go home, rest. Right after the procedure, I could see better. It was kind of like I was looking underwater, I guess. It wasn't perfectly clear. It was still a little hazy, but as my family was driving me home, I remember I was looking at a sign on the side of the road, and I was like, oh my God, I can actually see this without glasses, which for most people isn't a big deal. But for me, I've had glasses for 25 years, every single day of my life. So it was kind of surreal. The numbing drops wear off pretty quickly. They told me that they'd start wearing off within about 2, maybe 3 hours. It was more like 30 minutes. Because about 20 minutes into that car ride home, my eyes started burning. It felt like there was sand in them, and I could not wait to be able to get some eye drops in my eyes to help soothe those a bit. So I got home, got those eye drops in. And those were just lubricating eye drops, none of the antibiotic drops. Use those lubricating eye drops about every hour while you're awake throughout the day, just to help soothe and ease the pain or irritation. When you go home, they recommend that you sleep for several hours, just because after those drops wear off, the first couple hours are the worst. So if you're sleeping through it, you won't notice it. So that's what I did. Took Benadryl, had the Valium. That knocked me out for long enough. When I woke up, my eyes were just a little bit irritated, but by the time I woke up, probably 6 hours later, I could see very well. Still not perfect, but for the first time in my life for I don't even know how long, I got out of bed without glasses, and I could see across the hall. I could see from my bed down the hall into the end of my bathroom. I could make out objects clearly, which was a little bit surreal. And then the rest of the day, they recommend you just rest, no bright screens, no TV or cell phone, computer use, any of that, just to help relax your eyes a bit. So did that, and then this morning I had my follow-up appointment. They said everything looks like it's healing very well. The bruising should heal up within about a week or so, so hopefully that'll be gone. As far as my vision goes, in my right eye, um, I can see almost perfectly. It's pretty much like exactly when I had my perfect prescription of glasses on. My left eye is not so good, and they said part of it could be because there's usually a dominant eye takes to the procedure a little bit faster. The eyes are still healing for the first couple weeks, so as the eyes heal, theoretically my vision should improve. So fingers crossed that that's actually what happens. If not, then they may do another procedure later on down the road, about 3 months or so from now, to finish up the correction on that left eye. But overall, with both eyes open, if I look at anything, it's like I have glasses on. It kind of just feels like I have a new prescription on right now. You know, that weird adjustment phase when you get a new prescription where everything's not perfectly clear, but you know that it's eventually going to get there. Your eyes just need to adjust. That's what's going on with me right now. As far as any pain goes, I have absolutely no pain at all. Very mild irritation. I've had to use my lubricating drops maybe 3 times today. Antibiotic and steroid drops I put in twice. I have to use those 3 times a day. Other than that, it's great. Um, yeah, I would recommend it to anybody who is a candidate who's thinking of getting it done. Like I said, it is kind of a scary procedure when you're in there, especially for me, having such anxiety about anything touching my eyes. But if you have the right doctor, and the right surgeon and the right medical staff, you should be okay. You'll be in and out of there within a couple minutes. Um, yeah, I still can't get over how quickly that procedure was. Even my family, they told me that when they saw me come out of there, they thought, oh no, something went wrong. Like he couldn't do the procedure. What are we going to do? And it was just, they were just so fast with it. It's an incredibly fast procedure now, and painless as well for most people. I can't say everybody will have the same results as me, um, but I don't have any pain and very mild irritation with my eyes right now. So that's it. I'll continue to post updates as things progress. If anyone's interested, feel free to ask me questions. Good seeing you.